And then I'm
And,
sorry, I have like a few questions, but it'll be towards the end, just to
okay.
share. Because my whole family and everyone, they were all just kind of excited. So I was just like, just trying to share. And I already shared your page with a few of them. I know some of them started following you recently, just kind of doing. They're also just into music, looking.
Yeah.
I don't know if they create so much. Like one of my friends who just followed you, I think recently, yesterday or today. But
Okay. I'll make
producing
sure.
all these things, but yeah.
It's all love. It's all love. So I'll make sure I get with you to make sure I follow each one of those people that you already had them follow me back. I'll make sure I follow them back. So I won't leave
Yeah.
anybody out. And hey, you already know who this is. Hello. Welcome back to the P.E.G podcast with your girl. Shark coming back at you once again. And I got Artists of the Week coming back at you guys back to back, back to back. And I got my girl Debs here. She coming to share with y'all who she is. Let her know a little bit about herself. Let you guys tap into who Debs really are, not just with her music. So Debs, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's like a good day to wake up and just start off with music since the morning. I don't know. There's nothing better than starting it off that way today.
Oh, yep, I agree. I agree. This is a good way to start, good vibe, good connections. So, we've all been listening to you, Devs, with your new song out. And if they have not heard it yet, they're sleeping. So if you have not heard her song, it's on the PEG podcast on iHeartradio and all platforms. So go check it out. Go check it out. But Devs, before we get into that wonderful song that you put together and wrote, I want the listeners to just know a little bit about you. So I'm gonna give you an opportunity. Tell the listeners about you, who you are, where you from, and why did you pick that Selecta song to get into just writing? Why are you a writer today?
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm really, honestly, I'm very happy to be here. I'm so happy to share my music. I think it was a very vulnerable position because I was debating. I do a lot of covers, so I was just kind of, do I put something out that I wrote myself or not? As Char mentioned here, my name is Debs. I've been a singer-songwriter my whole life. I know a lot of people say that, but I came out of the womb singing apparently.
Hey.
Um, that's how much it was. And growing up, I'm from Arizona. My family is from the border areas of Nogales, so it's a lot of, if you come across my music, it'll be a lot in Spanish, a lot in English. It's just pulling from my roots from both sides of the border in Mexico and over here. So I have a lot of Spanglish. I even speak Spanglish. That's just how I roll. But that being said, obviously growing up here in Arizona, man, there's just so much, especially, brown people that we face, people of color that we face. And so music was a way to cope just growing up here. That's what it was. It was a way to put my pain, it was a way to put all my love into words. And so I started writing at a very young age. I don't know, I was probably 15, 14, 12, I don't know, somewhere around there.
You start right.
And yeah, and then my family, I was very blessed. I know there's a lot of families who are like, don't pursue music. It's not something you should be spending your time doing. I had the opposite. I had a whole entourage of my family just backing me up at any point that they saw an opportunity. So at one point I signed with a festival. It was a festival juvenil. It was with Univision. That was pretty awesome, and ended up giving me some opportunities to even sign some contracts with Food City and a few other places that would throw these huge festivals, and they would need performers. So at a very young age, just performing on stage, it's just what I do. And for me, it was always about, when I sing on stage, I love the connection that we feel, because in order for us to all to connect when I'm up there, we all have to be in a space that we're vulnerable, and we let whatever the lyrics and the music, whatever we're feeling, it's something about that when you're in that space and everyone is feeling either the words or the music. There's something healing within that, very seriously. So anyways, so performance is huge for me. It's why I do my lives on Instagram with 4 people, or I don't care how many people honestly are there,
Yeah.
just to spend a little bit of time in front of a few people and say that we connected over the music. It's a lot to me. So picking this song was definitely a big choice on my end. I wanted to share a little bit of of the optimism that I see in this world still amidst everything that we see in the news and in the media. And my song essentially talks about how if two people can fall in love, you have two random strangers come up, they fall in love with each other, they learn to trust each other. There has to be hope that on a larger scale, we can all do that with each other on a larger platform, you know? And that's really what my song is about. It's about, don't just take your individual experience and think it's just yours and it's only possible with you and this one other person in this world. It is possible on a much larger scale with as many people as we can find and build that trust. And it takes time. And I know that it's easier said than done, but I hope it just gives a little bit of a reminder of what we need to keep in our minds and keep in our souls as we interact with people in our lives, so that we keep that alive. We keep the possibility of making the future better every day.
So what made you title the song what you titled? Because that's pretty dope. You know, you had to tap into your vulnerability and get the people to listen and vibe with how you vibe and your emotions. Why did you pick that title?
Trust Like Us, because I think, and you know, I'm going to allude to this a little bit just with my music there, but even with some of the videos that I'm going to be putting together with the song, is I've always came from a world that, even though I was raised as a Latina, as a Mexicana background, I was always open to other cultures and other people. It was just part of who I was growing up. And so I see little changes of where we bridge our communication, we bridge our lived experiences together. And for me, it was, you know, finding my partner who's Vietnamese from a different world in terms of culture, and seeing how like we can come together and mesh our cultures so beautifully. I just can't help but think, like, if the rest of the world just kept doing this and being so open and being so receptive to what we can do, what we can make together versus what we all individually work on apart. I think that was a huge part. So I truly believe the trust that we have in each other is what I believe the world can pull from. It's what everyone can pull from. And I hope it's an example, but that's why I kind of put what I have out there. It's to the core. It's as real as it can get in terms of me and who I am as a person into this song. And I hope Trusting Like Us and hearing the lyrics will impact you to feel like maybe I should just reach out, try again, keep my mind open to whatever experiences come my way and whatever people come into my life.
That is a big stretch. You got Vietnamese, then you got Hispanic. How two different worlds, like you said, that's two different completely worlds coming together. That's really dope. I know the food is bomb because I like both.
Yes.
Food is bomb. I think Vietnamese food is good, and I love Mexican food, Hispanic food. It's the spiciness that gets me sometimes, but I was like, come on, bring it. Because I know if it's not, it ain't real. Give it to me. So
it is.
I like,
yes. There's more crossovers than you think of, like, especially in food. I went to Vietnam and I got to go visit over there so I could see it. And it was just hilarious because as I was traveling and my Instagram, I blow up a lot of photos of it because I was so amazed at how large such a small country was. It was huge. And the food, like, they might have rice, they might have noodles, but if you replace some of the basics of what they make, a lot of their soups and their different kind of traditional like pho and things like that, there's almost exact same types of elements in a lot of Mexican food. So it's just funny. We actually cross over so much more than people think. And I won't forget, I was like walking around, I'm like, man, parts of this looks like Mexico, really. Like if you go to the other side of the border and you like kind of see the differences building up versus out, but it looks so similar. So it's funny, but it was such an inviting culture, honestly, especially being primarily like a Buddhist culture. It just absorbed me. So definitely everything I do, it has a mixed way of approach. It has a very Latina proud root side of me, and then it has like this amazing colorful Vietnamese culture, just it's just infused all together at this point. But that's why I'm hoping kind of sometimes we need to share our story so that people see the world is a lot bigger than our own little perspective, you know?
Yeah. Like, that's why you gotta get on and say, I'm not just an artist on many things, you know what I'm saying? They would have never known you like not only Hispanic food but Vietnamese food, or you
Mhm.
have to tie those two worlds together because those cultures are different. I would never know
Yeah.
they're similar either. What is a dish would you say would be similar to a Mexican dish that you noticed that you probably
But I
ate?
noticed, let's see. They had I think it's called Boomerang. Boomerang. It's like a, and I'm probably, for all anyone who's listening who is Vietnamese, please don't come for me because my Vietnamese, let me tell you, I can learn languages pretty easily. Not too shabby, you know, I know some French, you know, I picked up a few different languages, Korean a little bit. But let me tell you, Vietnamese is so hard because of the accents and the tones. Like you got to go up, you got to go down with your voice, and you said three different words. But I'm just putting it out there. But yeah, so boomerang, I think that's what it's called, and it's like a red. It has a lot of different kind of like a menudo, but
Oh,
more like it's like a menudo pozole mix. So if you've had either pozole or menudo and you kind of mix that together and it's like this red soup, I swear to you, it was so similar. The tastes are different. There's a little bit different with the spices and such, but that was one of the ones that when I used to eat meat, this was a long time ago now because it's been years, but I tried that and it looked and it tasted so similar, and it just opened up my mind. I was like, look at that, from food to music, and I hear like their old school romantic music that they also come up with. I mean, even on my Instagram, I try to share all those different type of musics to keep the different sounds there. But you hear it and you're like, there's just so much that people don't know about that culture
right.
that um we just forget that there's more similarities than not, and you don't know unless you try it, and
So let's try.
you have to put yourself outside of your safe zone, you know, go
Yeah.
experiment a little bit, say I might not like something or I might like it, I don't know, but that's how I treated my experience over there, and I was just open to it all. That's how I was able to find a couple dishes like that.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And I like Vietnamese dish. Now you're gonna have me go there try it. I'm like, I don't know what it is, but it's like noodle. And they were looking at me like, what are you
go get yourself some pho. Pho is always just like hits the spot. Yes.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. Was it hard tying those two cultures together? You know, even though you like you said the food was similar, but like pretty sure some things that you do in your culture and they do in their culture was a lot different. Was it hard trying to tie the two?
I mean, there are some legitimate huge differences, but I think and this is why I'm just saying my music reflects it so much. It's just, if you have an open mind and if you find another person or the people who you interact with, if they also have open minds, then there's always places to find middle grounds,
Yeah.
spiritually, religiously, music wise, everything. And so for us, it was always just trying to find a middle ground of where we're like, this is what your culture does traditionally, you know, to the T. This is what mine does. So how do we bridge in the middle to say we're okay and we're happy with how we each need to respectfully, you know, observe either any types of religious events or something like that, um, or just practices, just general practices. There's certain things I've gotten away with, and I don't wear shoes in my house, kind of a thing. Like shoes are all left in the front. Hey, the
Yeah.
carpet looks cleaner to me. That's how that looks for
Yeah.
me. But I don't know. I think it's been a journey to do that, but you know what, finding, when you're open to it, then you'll find the people that needs to surround you. And at every step of the way, he was a great example of just someone who, whatever I wanted to do with my journey, if it was focusing on my studies, which I did for a lot of my last years, which is why I'm just starting up with my music again, to a point where I was a director of a nonprofit. So I'm on like I was on a whole other coast for a second, and then I was just like, listen, I'm missing something, and it's music. I'm missing this in my life. I
Yeah.
needed to breathe. I needed to cope. I needed to process everything that's happening around us, especially with COVID and everything that happened last year. So that we're still living. So I turned back to music, and you see, having been open this far, I was even surprised that when I decided to make these big major shifts in my life and what I was going to focus on, I had, I have an entourage of people who are just there in my corner from all sorts of backgrounds and cultures and experiences. I'm very blessed. Let me tell you, I know how blessed I am. I feel it. I feel how blessed I am, but a lot of it is attributed to just remaining open-minded and sharing and being vulnerable. All of
I could
those
say
things.
I could say that was displayed in your song. You know,
Yeah.
the your emotions as far as like how you wanted to be diverse, how you wanted to get across to everybody. You know,
Mm.
you definitely feel that vibe in your song. So it's very nice to see that your energy, it not only matches your music, but it matches you personally. You know, now most people think that artists they're even the hype ones, they're hyped all the time, and they could be the most introverted person, right? They actually not like that, but to actually see that your music speaks and this is actually who you are, that's
Mm.
like that's a whole nother vibration there. That's a whole nother frequency. Not gonna say vibration. That's a whole nother frequency. And I like when there's artists that are their own vibes. Like me, I'm a whole vibe. If you don't vibe with me, then oh well, you know, and it
Yeah.
attract the people on my vibe. So like you're a whole nother vibe, you feel me? So you attract people on your vibe. And like you say, it's okay to say that I was on a different path at first,
Yeah.
but I came back to music. Sometimes it takes that to learn what we needed to learn. You probably had to go learn a few things over there to bring it back to.
Yes.
So that is
You
dope.
know, to say just even with COVID, because I want to talk about that very quickly if you don't mind. I know because everyone looks at it from such a negative perspective, right? And believe me, we, especially me as a family, and what we suffered and who we lost along the process, it was really difficult. But I think the music that I was turning to, and what everyone was looking for, was not just, hey, let's just party and let's just forget and let's just ignore. Everyone
Yeah,
wanted to recognize we're in this together. How do we
yeah.
get out of it together? And part of it is just saying, this is a shitty situation that we're in.
No,
That's just the truth. And let's sit in this pain together for a little bit. And then let's put something together that makes us look forward to what the future can bring us. And I think that's what was missing a lot in a lot of music last year. And there were some artists who were picking it up and just providing that food that we need for our souls. I so believe that music is a huge, it's an energy source that we need to function, a lot of us, even if
yeah.
we don't recognize it. We're just hearing it in the stores, we're hearing it where we go. But what are you getting from it, and what kind of messages are you pulling from that? So anyways, I was thinking, I think last year it was a huge part that was like, listen, I have songs like that. and
Yeah.
and I'm like, and I know that there's people who can hear it and just wanna, they just need that, they just need to hear, this is our situation, but we can walk out of this together. And so for me, turning back to music last year, I don't know, it was a blessing in disguise too. And in the midst of all of that, it was my wake up call that, hey, life keeps rolling no matter what level of crazy we are in. If it's what's happening in society, if it's happening with the pandemic, if it's whatever it is, life keeps moving forward. So what are you pulling from it every single day? What are you doing? And for me, I was like, listen, I need to do music. That's what it is. I need to pull from my music. And I hope other people feel that as they hear some of my songs. I've written a few more. I posted a few more. I have a very humble, small following right now, so no worries. But there is where you could find in my Instagram and on my TikToks, you could find a little bit more of some of my songs that I also wrote to just bring attention to either social justice, love. I don't know. This is what my music says. I wanted to keep saying that about me, no matter where I go, no matter
Right.
how much I produce it or not. It stays on a piano or ends up hitting a whole bunch of other instruments, which I would love to eventually. But um, yeah, I'm just excited to have turned back to music.
Hey, we all excited too, because we would never actually been able to hear that beautiful piece if you did not turn back to music. So congratulations. Like keep going. Like don't stop. This is just only the beginning. You're gonna have more interviews, you're gonna have more shows, you're gonna have more fan base, the fans gonna come up. So you just gotta keep going, you know, don't stop now. And be more diverse. Like that's gonna keep you out there too, being more diverse and understanding. And you know, you bilingual. So that's fine. Sexy, that's sass. You know, people want that bilingual.
Yes.
You gotta keep that fire going, and you gotta keep being yourself. But that's how people get, you know. Anyway, I gravitated towards you not only after listening to it, but I'm like, I want to know more of this. I want to know if this is her and her music, you know. And I don't know how many people actually think about that. Like I be want to know, like I wonder if this them. you know, and it's you, you know, it's you and your music. The energy that you give out in your music is displays who you are. So that's very honorable and very tasteful. So I like that. I like that. Mm-hmm. Would
No,
you say?
I'm really glad. It is the same. When I was looking up your channel and then I was starting to listen to the podcast, and I was like, listen, like there's a vibe here. I wanna ride this vibe. Like it's okay, whatever comes of it. The vibe is there. I'm so glad there's so many people who are just finding so much value in putting out positive energy to the world. It just
It's,
it's
it's
missing. It's
yeah,
missing and you're filling a hole there. So on another level, I just want to thank you for the platform because I don't know, some people might just see it as a space to share music, but I see it as more than that. It's a space to connect with others and send out that energy that's needed. It's just needed right now.
man, that's the main goal. Like I can like that the growth of it makes me so exciting and being able to do this and knowing that I started this in my time of need and I was reaching out to others just to get that energy, you know. I'm like, okay, I want to see if I decide to give up right now, I want to see
Mm,
what guy. And I saw that with so many people like me, like you,
mm,
across the different countries. Like I'm all the way in UK, I'm all the way in Turkey, and I'm not even on a plane. And these people are giving me
mm,
positive energy. They're telling me to keep going. They're telling me that you can do it. And it's like, wow,
mm.
somebody can take that from me as well, right? So like you said, we
Yes.
because energy is transferable. And
Yes.
just like so many other artists, you have a transferable energy. And like you said, this is what's gonna heal the world. You know, this
Yes.
is what's gonna touch people. People are going through a tough time right now. And they need to
Yes.
hear positive music because we hear negativity all the time. You know, so keep
True.
going. Would you say that the project that you just did, the song you just did, would you say that was the most challenging song that you had wrote because it had the most emotions in it? Or is there another one that you had wrote with more emotions in it?
I think this one had a lot. I have a few more that definitely it pulled. It takes a lot to sit in your space of darkness and then say,
Yeah.
what can I do to pull something good out of this?
Yeah.
And I know it's easier said than done. I know we all have lots of pain that we're trying to process, especially now. But it's just the truth. But yeah, so at one point, I think I started this song, and this one was a huge one because I was losing some faith there. There was a part where I was just sitting in a very dark space and just kind of like, what is happening with our dialogue as people in this world? Like, why aren't we understanding each other better? Why aren't we trying to just understand and give each other the space to be ourselves and accept that we're all coming from different backgrounds? And there was something there that was I was sitting somewhere in a loss, and it was a lot with a lot of the grassroots I was organizing in. And at one point I was just like, when is what we're asking for too much or too little? And when will the shift change where we talk about it together? And slowly my song started to come together because it was just like, if the world is cruel, if the world is able to fool you, why do we choose to trust each other then? Even just one other person, just
Right.
why? You trust some random person you meet one day, you give them everything, you're like, why? Because it's more in our nature to find more things that we can figure out and have in common than not. So yes, I think this one definitely pulled a lot from my soul. It was a deep space that I was in, but I have plenty of other ones too that I want to say make me make me reflect a lot on what is it that we're doing. So I think this one though is it was difficult because I had to revamp it. It went from being like something I wrote on a sheet of paper, and I
Right.
was like, okay, look at this. This is like messed up. This is what is this? This was that, and I built on it, and now it became like this full on piece where I'm just like, okay, let's redo the chords. Let's redo. If the sound is too gloomy, how do I transpose my chords so that I can feel what I need to feel from this when I'm done?
Right.
And so yes, it took so much energy because look, you have to challenge yourself. Sometimes we think in a way and we can't break from our own mindset. And we're like,
Yeah.
this is what it needs to sound like. So when the song came to me at first, it sounded like this. It was a little more gloomy. And so I took a break from that song for years to come back to it and be like, okay, listen, if you just had your words and you had your transition of your chords, what do you need to change so that you get that feeling? Yeah, I don't know. I spent hours, days just going back and forth to just be like, is this the right chord progression? Yes. Okay. I feel it. But I want to say I grew a lot in this experience because I had to challenge myself and say, you know, just because what you came up with at first, you can change your mind. You can
Right.
change it. You don't have to be whatever you first presented, and that's it for the rest of your life. We're all growing people. We're all going to keep changing. And if you're really open to what's around you, you're not going
Right.
to be the same person you were 10 years ago. You're not going
No,
to be the same person you were 5 years ago. A
not.
year ago, I'm a whole different,
Yeah.
like, opened up. I'm more me than ever than I can say in the last 10, 15 years. So yes, it's going to sound a little different and it's going to be scary. And it's going to be scary to break past your own borders that you make in yourself to say, this is what you need to look like. This is what you need to present, and just make something from scratch again. What are you now?
What would you say for that? You know, like you said, facing those you. Basically, it's all you, those deceptions that the world has created, and to be your authentic self. What would you say for the ones that want to step out their box, just like you're doing, and put their music out, but that fear, like you said, they're scared to even to see what that look like? What would you say?
Honestly, some of the biggest encouragements that I had was the mindset of, you have to just do it for yourself. You have to do it for yourself, because if you sit there and you think of all the consequences of you sharing something, I was sitting there, someone's going to steal my music, someone's going to this, but then no one heard it. So no one hears it. If you never share it, if you never put it out for people to hear, then it'll never be heard by a single soul. Like, it's just something you wrote, it'll stay there, and you don't know if your song could change somebody. And I was just sharing this with some of my friends, and honestly, I was in a space of tears because they were, as they were hearing the song, as they were hearing the words, they were just kind of, there was a connection there. And if I was too scared to post and to put it out there, then they wouldn't have experienced that. It was a sense of healing that they got from it. So I just really say that it's scary to go past your limits of comfort, because we all get comfortable and then we sit there and then we make a whole bunch of reasons and we make a whole list of why not to do so many things. When
Yeah.
in reality, the only thing that really matters is what makes you happy every single day, because we don't get that back. Every day we spend and how we spend it, we don't get it back. And if anything, the whole, everything with COVID has taught us that in a very painful way. But learn from that and live it then, and don't let anything limit you. And if you need encouragement, then turn to the people, and by being open-minded, turn to the people who are going to fill you with that energy so that you can move forward and feel secure. But honestly, in the end, you have to just choose to do it yourself. You have to spend the time. I love one of the videos. No one's going to wake you up early if you don't have anything going for yourself. No one's going to tell you to wake up early. No one's going to be there to you know, hold you accountable to what you want to do with your life. It's
Right.
just, it's what you decide to do with it every single day. And for me, I guess I'm choosing my music. That's what it
Yeah.
is. I'm choosing it. But for everyone else, whatever is that thing that makes you tick, that makes you happy, that gives you a sense of purpose, who cares if no one listens or if anyone understands it? Just do it, because you matter more to yourself. You're the only person who's going to appreciate yourself the most. That's it.
That's
So
huge. I'm like that too. Like, I'm at the point in my life I want to find out what it looks like if I do it. Like you said, even if I complete this album, nobody ever hear it. Well, some hear it because I'm going to put it out. But if no one ever is fire, is whatever, I put it out. You know, that's not an easy thing to do, to put out
yeah,
a mix, out an album, because it takes
yeah,
time, it takes dedication, and you have to break your words down to your creativity. So I'm very
yeah.
happy that you are here telling people. It's not just me saying keep going, you know, because people think cliche and they're like, "Sure, how you keep this energy?" I'm like, I wake up sometime not in this energy, and sometimes it takes me a whole hour to get this energy. You know what I'm saying? Or I go a whole half a day, and I'm like, I'm still not positive. I gotta get positive. So whether you go work it out, or you read some affirmations, or you read a book, it takes time. And I feel that some people will look at a person like you and a person like me, or artists that do get on and put themselves out, and be like, I can never do that. They're different. They're not different. They're
No,
still the same way. The only thing is they started and they kept going regardless of what people say. That's the fear.
yes,
The rejection is the fear. And I learned that at the age of 27. Like, I've been scared of rejection all my life. And it's like, no
yes.
more. That no more. I'm going to find out if it's for me. If it's not for me, it'll show up, but I'm going to at least try. I'm going to try. And I like that that's what you're putting out there, that positive energy to keep going, you know?
Yeah, I think honestly, me going my studies route, my educational route, because I just wanted to take care of my family. I wanted to take care of my sisters, my mom. There was a lot of that. And so I put so much energy all my years into my studies and everything. But listen, you even go a traditional route and you go through college and everything like that. I had so many doors shut in front of my face before I was taken seriously to be in a director role. Honestly, it was just door after door, not taking me seriously, that I had a passion to make a difference. That was it. It wasn't to be in some top position. It wasn't because I wanted any position in particular. I just wanted to help. I just wanted to help make a difference. And how could I best do that? Okay, I guess there's certain roles. I had so many doors shut in my face that it just made me bold for this time around for music, because I was like, I felt the rejection and it's gonna hurt.
Right.
It's gonna hurt. You gotta be honest with yourself. It's gonna hurt when you get rejected. But if you keep going, honestly, the happiness you bring to yourself every day will make it worth it. It'll just make it worth it. My friends, my family, they see me, they're like, Debs, you're at peace, you're happy, you have like a glow because you're just living your true self right now. And I wouldn't trade that for anything right now. I don't, I just wouldn't trade it for anything, but you won't know that unless you face rejection. You won't know what success feels like until you've been rejected. You won't know what feeling positive and happy with yourself is until you've felt sad and upset about where you are and what you're doing with your life. You need to have both,
What would you tell people, because now you're out here paving the way, being an inspiration, a motivator to so many people. There's so many people looking at you, watching you. And even if they don't say anything, they're little creeps. That's all. The internet is full of little creeps. It's okay. I want to know creeps. Sometimes I won't say anything, but they're watching, they're seeing your elevation. So what are some few projects that you're working on now that you're going to bring more impact to the world? Because people are watching.
I know, I'm super excited. First, I am, now that I've taken that step to really record and put my music, my own songs into, now that I've recorded them, sorry, I'm really looking to start putting them on Spotify. So that's a huge item that I'm kind of shifting towards right now. And I'm doing all the fun research on that. And so I'm really excited I'm going with that full force, because again, just whatever few people can hear and want to hear the messages, I just want them to have access to it. And I know it's easier said than done. I'm going to still continue with the positive messages. I do this with the TikTok, voiceovers and such, but I just find positive affirmation, to all those creators out there who are making that content that just helps everyone take one step forward every single day. Or laugh. Come on, we need to laugh. Frida Kahlo, one of my inspirations, that woman. And she always said laughter is the best medicine. I think I have that. I painted that. I have that painted and posted here. Laughter is the best medicine to get through life, because sometimes we're so ready to sit there and cry and be upset. We forget that laughter just breaks something that helps us cope with it all. So I think what my focus now is to bring my personal music up to the forefront, see what collaborations I can get out of it so that we can make some amazing music, because I used to have a band and I'm looking to see if I can add a few more instruments. So that's part of it. But I just want to continue sharing my experiences. And I didn't realize how much people needed their perceptions opened up so they can see that. So I'm going to continue with my positive messages, whether it's just a chat for a second and, I go live, or if it's really the videos, that I'm just going to continue as well. So I'm pretty excited. But the major thing is I'm going to be doing some live performances. So I have a couple. Yes, I'm really excited, because especially with COVID, it's been a mess. I was getting reached out to last year and I couldn't really make a few of them happen. So this year, by the end of this upcoming month, there's like this Black women, brown women open mic session, but they also have, like some live curated performances. So I'm going to be a part of that, which I'm super excited about. But I'll be bringing more live performances and serenading people if they want to join. And they're like, you know what, on a Saturday morning, I want to be in bed and be serenaded. Then, that's what my page will bring to you.
Hey, go check out her page and shout out to where people can follow you on social media. Even after this interview, where can they go follow you? You know, where I want to know more about Debs and get up with her serenading and get
Yes.
where can they find you on your social?
So on my Instagram, it's Debs_uncoded, right? Because I'm making sure I'm my true formal. Here we go. Here's
Yeah,
myself. So I am uncoded. That is why I chose this.
I
So
like
Debs_uncoded. If you go onto my TikTok, I have two. If you want positive affirmation messages that just wake you up or make you laugh, then that's Debs Moments with an S, Debs Moments. Or on my other TikTok, if you just want to be serenaded, then it's Debs Uncoded. It's pretty simple
Hey,
out there. I even have a Facebook for Debs Uncoded for some of the generations that still listen to and follow on Facebook. But here we go.
yeah. So now you guys can go tap into her more, her authenticity, the rawness of her. And look, go link up with her, ask some questions. I'm pretty sure she'll be willing to talk, man. There's
Yeah.
just get on and just get to know who you are. Last thing before you get up, so we just depart today. I want to know, behind the scenes is not easy to artists, right? And no one really knows they face. What is something that can you say behind the scenes no one knew that you faced as an artist, but you're here
Mm.
to
Ooh, such a good point. First, there's always reasons of why you find that you can't share it, right? At one point, I didn't have enough money so I can get what I needed in order to produce my sounds, right? So I didn't have this nice piano, I didn't have my mic and everything set up. So part of it is I did need to figure out a way to have the money so I can fund what I wanted to do with it, and then I committed to it. So instead of just buying whatever I wanted all the time, and I could spend my money on other things and shopping and stuff, I literally spent it on my music. I spent it on the lighting, I spent it on the piano. I bring it up because I feel like that's one of the biggest challenges for people who are like, I can't do it. They're like, I don't know where to start. And some
yeah,
of it is you have to reposition, construct your mind and tell it, this is so important that I'm going to put my money, where my mouth is.
yeah,
And that's how do I invest in myself so I can make this happen. And I did my research, I tried to see what were the best tools and everything to use so I could just start producing. I started buying a better mic so like the sound you guys hear when I'm in my lives or when I'm recording, that you hear my voice at its full potential, the piano at its full potential, things like that. So I want to say that was my biggest challenge to get started in the social media world. The
hey,
personal challenge to get on stage, just because I was so used to it growing up as a child, I want to say the practice is the most important thing, because I know there's some people who are like, I've only done the social media world, I've only done videos,
yeah,
I've never performed live. And if you haven't performed live to connect with people on that level, there's something you haven't tapped into that's just going to open up your world of possibilities. And so part of that is practice. It's saying yes and signing up and coming through for the next
yeah,
open mic session. Start off with your open mic sessions, then go to some planned, festive events, putting yourself out there. I think with more practice, you'll just get more comfortable. And when you're more comfortable, the people in the crowd will be able to connect with you more better when you're on the stage. So I think
right,
those are the two biggest things that a lot of people before they get started just question. How do I do that? How do I bring myself to get on stage? And how do I bring myself to actually share anything? It
that's what-
takes you wanting to do it and fully committing to it. That's what that is.
yes, look, the one if you're worried right now, if it's scary, yes, it's scary, and
Mm,
every time you do it, it's gonna get less scary. Okay,
yeah.
so now you don't have to worry about it. Go ask them, is that scary? How did you face it? She just did it. She went and faced it because that's what she wanted. So guys, you gotta go face everything that's scary, that's in your way of you and your dreams. You gotta go face it, and you gotta stay committed to yourself. Just like Debs, she was committed to herself, not just the music, but herself. And I like that. You display who you
Yes. If I
unapologetic myself.
if I could say one last thing,
Yeah.
because I'm just realizing on my personal journey here, especially with coming back to music here, body positivity. I have to say it. I have to put it out there for all my women who are curvy, who have their curves, who are like, I am not a typical version of what an artist, a musician, or whatever it is that you have in your mind of what you're supposed to look like when you put yourself out there. I remember the first hate comments that I started getting with some of my fun videos that I was doing, especially that revolved around laughter, right? Then you get the people who joke too much and they don't get that some of their comments are hurtful, you know?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, for the few haters that you have, or the many, it doesn't matter. There are more people who love you. There are more people who are proud. There are more people who will look up to the fact that you and your body image were up there, and it shouldn't be a barrier. What are you bringing? What else are you bringing? Are you bringing your voice? Are you bringing your songs? Are you bringing laughter to somebody? Because then I can care two craps if they're looking at me and saying I'm a little bit thick. I don't care. I think that was a big thing. Don't let about your body image get in the way, because that was a big thing for me for a second too, is not having enough examples of women who are with curves getting on social media and displaying their music.
No, man, we more people like you said, being an example, because it doesn't matter. You don't have to be skinny. You don't have to look like the next top model, because they're not ideally,
Yes.
they got that body, so it's not authentic. If you
Yes.
decide you want to be curvy or however you want to be, you gotta be your true authentic self all the way. So you're beautiful, you're gorgeous. Forget what they say. What they say, right? Because the ones that actually go to do it, they're still not themselves. You know what I'm saying? They'll all go and try to find the next thing to become the next hottest. You'll always be yourself. So you're beautiful. Everyone, if you're a woman, you're a little girl around the world, you guys are beautiful. Now for you handsome, beautiful men out there, y'all are handsome and y'all are beautiful. So you should smile no matter where your color are. Debs, it was fun. It was amazing coming onto this podcast and just getting tapped in. Like, I would have never known the type of vibration and frequency that you hold if I didn't even ask you to come and share this with the audience. So it's amazing to see so many artists on that frequency, on that positive image, and just want to do right in the world, and just want to show other people, look, if I can do right, you can do right too, and you can go for years. And it was amazing tapping in with you today. Is there any last word you want to give to the people? Is there any last words you want to give to the people that before you leave, you say, hey, I want to leave a little more Debs on you before I go? What would you say?
Let's see. What I would say is, if you don't have someone who truly wishes for your happiness, if you don't have someone who's truly in your corner, I know I'm a stranger. I know, just like my song, I'm a random person here, okay? I know that's what I am. But just know, I swear to you, there are so many of us who are in your corner. And as long as you show up as yourself, as long as you come and you share what you were gifted only in this world to share, the love will be there, the support will be there, but where you can't see it, it's there, it's present. And I hope that anyone who just walks away from my pages feels loved, feels a sense of hope, feels a sense of fun. Have fun with life. Gosh, don't be so serious. God, a big lesson for me to learn. Don't be so serious. Have some fun with it. It's your one little life you get. That's it. So I hope that those of you who visit, that you leave with those feelings, that you leave with some good music, something that feeds your soul before you leave. And mucho amor a todos los que me apoyan.
Hey, and look, nobody say they love y'all today, tomorrow, yesterday. Know that Sean loves you, Debs love you, and if you say haters, guess what? We don't care, because we love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it today, tomorrow, or yesterday. We love you forever, and thank you for tuning in again to the P.E.G. podcast, y'all. Stay loved, stay blessed. Me and Debs loves y'all.